This distro is Pardus 25, based on Debian with Turkish origin. We will install, review, and evaluate its general performance. We boot the ISO image, we select English, then the graphic installer, and wait a few moments for the system to load properly. The installer starts, we select English language, Guatemala location, US config, and Latin American keyboard layout selection. It begins loading components and media. We select the host name, the full name, the specific username, and a secure password set. Then it will recognize disks. We select the entire disk, the target drive, partitions, and finally we accept all the changes. The setup process begins. First release was in 2005 based on Gentoo. It is currently Debian-based and we will utilize xfce. We reboot and the system starts for the first time. It enters the desktop very fast. It has a useful initial configuration. We review the desktop panel and menu. It has most applications that are installed by default within this desktop environment. We open the terminal and increase font size for better visibility. The window size will be adjusted automatically after that. Now we update the system to be current with mirrors. Then we install the necessary packages to run our performance benchmarks. We run fastfetch to see system info. We get kernel version, memory, and package size are very appropriate for this distribution. We use commands to contrast the info, which is correct. We verify the boot time, which is truly excellent for this specific OS. We run Sysbench. We start with the CPU using one thread to see system processing. We get an excellent result of total events. Now, we test the CPU using 5 threads to check processing capacity. We also obtain a very good result during this specific test. We test threads with Sysbench to evaluate system concurrency management. In this case, we get an average result for the system. We test mutexes to evaluate the efficiency of mutual exclusion locks. We obtain a very good result during this performance test. Then, we run a memory read test to evaluate efficiency when accessing data. We get an excellent result for this specific task. We run a memory write test to evaluate efficiency when saving data. Again, we obtain a very good result for the tested system. We prepare the necessary files to perform the disk input and output test with Sysbench using 1 GB in total size for it. We run the random read and write test to evaluate disk performance. We obtain both highly outstanding results for the storage. Then, we execute the top command to check memory used by a Firefox window. Then we open a new tab with a specific video file. We continue opening a third and fourth tab, seeing the increase in memory usage. Average consumption per tab is currently high. We install necessary packages for graphic performance tests. We include GL Mark II, NVIDIA drivers, settings, and the SMI utility. Now we restart the computer to load the module. We enter the terminal and verify with NVIDIA SMI, but it gives us a system error. We verify the module, it is missing. We try to install it manually and it gives a directory error. We must update the headers. We restart the computer again, we enter the terminal and execute the NVIDIA SMI command. This time it worked correctly for us. We run GL Mark II to measure Intel graphic performance using several OpenGL rendering tests. The result was average for the chip. Then we enter environment variables and run GL Mark II. We see that tests are for NVIDIA. The result is excellent for this video card. We have finished the system evaluation. Following is a summary of the results obtained from the various tests performed here. In conclusion, Pardus is a very efficient distribution based on Debian. The installer is friendly and the initial config too. Regarding performance, most test results were excellent. Surprisingly, Pardus is the number 3 in our performance ranking. That is all for this video. If you liked it, subscribe, leave a like and activate notifications. See you in the next video.